digging and plowing, and there's a lot of pests, which usually require pesticides. And there's also agricultural runoff that comes from soil-based farming. And hydroponics, although it does help save land use and water use, there's actually, it's not that sustainable, given that you don't get as much out of your system for the same amount of energy. And it's also kind of difficult to have a child set up a hydroponic system. And there's a lot more physics involved with that. So next, we're going to talk about why sustainability is a main focus of this kind of farming. So according to the EPA, 24% of greenhouse gases come from agriculture and land use as of 2010. And so with aquaponics, there's less use of land because it's soilless. You just need tanks to hold the plants. And that also encourages better use of land, such as urban farming, which is basically reclaiming abandoned warehouses within inner cities and putting aquaponic systems there so people in these inner cities have access to organic, non-GMO produce, plants, and fish as well. And there's also less water use. So according to the Southern California Public Radio, 41% of California's water is used for agriculture yearly. It's nearly half the water. And we're in a drought. So we only need to replace water in the system due to natural evaporation. So also, according to EcoLife, 90% less water is used in aquaponic systems. So that's a lot more efficient than traditional agriculture. And there's no runoff, so you can avoid algal blooms, like we learned in the Klamath Connection about what's happening in the Klamath River from the farms. And there is just keeping waste out of the watershed, which means that you're keeping a lot of other climates happy and healthy as well. So how can it help with global starvation? We can just take a look at that picture for a second. Because according to the World Food Program, poor nutrition causes nearly half of deaths in children under the age of 5. That's 3.1 million children a year. In aquaponics, plants grow faster and they grow larger because it's a closed system and you are basically managing every single nutrient that's put into it. So it's more efficient than soil, which can go kind of wrong or right, depending on how much fertilizer you use, how much it rained that year, other kind of outside forces. And you only need access to electricity. And some are like, okay, well, I mean, if we're trying to solve world hunger, some people don't have electricity in their immediate vicinity. We've actually made a way to hook up solar panels to this. So it's definitely becoming more accessible throughout the entire world. And it's clean water as well, so that would be necessary. And there's no need for arable land, which is a large issue in the world. It's because we are farming, but we've exhausted so much of our land that we don't have any nutrients left. So aquaponics is the way to go now because we've exhausted our land and we can't keep taking up land and wasting it until it's completely done. So it's also very accessible to those that are in need of it. So it's GMO free, so due to that, there's actually an avoidance of the privatization and copywriting of certain kind of plants within the system. And it's also just increased access to organic, chemical-free produce, fruits, and fish. So it's completely accessible. That system right there is one that I helped build at my school. I actually am the founder of the Aquaponics Club at my school. I applied for a grant with EcoLife. I was lucky enough to get the grant. And we built this all using less than $1,000. It's a large-scale system, and we raised about 20 large catfish in it. We raised a large tomato plant that we were able to make salad and salsa out of, and we had strawberries. It was really cool. So EcoLife was really nice enough to like give us this sort of opportunity. Before my senior year, I had no idea what aquaponics was. And they're really trying to make an outreach to our younger generations because we're in trouble for our sustainability. And farming is a huge, huge issue that we need to change soon. So it's not rocket science. You got a bunch of seniors that were just in AP Environmental Science that didn't know much about, like, I personally wasn't very good at math. And it's minimal math, and you don't need a lot of work to be able to do this. It's literally just cutting PVC piping and, like, just connecting it. And so far, what have I told you? All right, we can save water in a drought-ridden state. It's organic, it's GMO-free produce, and it's fruit and fish as well. And it's way less greenhouse gas emissions, and there's no agricultural runoff, and it's accessible to those in need. So, in short, aquaponics is financially feasible, it is environmentally friendly, and it is sustainable, accessible, and a possible solution to global hunger. If I can do it, I'm sure you guys can do it. Thank you.